All right, a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Wednesday, March 18th. We're underway in the NCAA tournament, technically, with the play-in games there yesterday. Our first two play-in games got off underway. We saw Howard win in a good one against Maryland, Baltimore County. We saw North Carolina State fall in that last second shot to mark there for the game winner late as Texas beat NC State. We'll talk about them a little bit here, but got to certainly talk about the big game there last night. Yeah, certainly a little bit of a disappointment there, but nonetheless a great game and a great win for a great country, Venezuela. Congratulations to them. What a month, huh? For Venezuela. But seriously, great performance by Venezuela at the World Baseball Classic. In the end, it may have been the energy. It may have been the mental fortitude, the happiness, the celebration, the capacity of Venezuela, the pro-Venezuela crowd there as well. And of course, some of Venezuela's great players like Eugenio Suarez. What a nice run there at the end of the game. Bryce Harper, of course, providing that two-run towering home run in the eighth inning. The previously dormant United States lineup with some oxygen there late in the game to tie the game after, they got off there early on. Venezuela grabbed the early lead in the game. Willie Abreu with the solo home run as well. But it was Suarez's RBI double in the ninth inning that scored pinch runner homeboy Javier Sanoa, the Marlin here. Not exactly a speed demon, but certainly faster than Luis Suarez, who worked that leadoff walk. Sanoa with a stolen base there, Dave Roberts style, just 6 for 11 last season, but he swiped second base. And then the battle between Suarez and Whitlock there, not saying that the U.S. was out of, down on pitching or anything like that. No doubt about it. Had Whitlock in there, but he was able to get that big hit, that RBI double for Suarez, and great for him too in his career. Think of where he's been in his career, a veteran of 12 years. Talking about Eugenio Suarez, but still the biggest hit of his life to win that game there for Venezuela, and they win the World Baseball Classic in the end. I mean, you look at what the U.S. did. McLean, 4 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits, a little bit of trouble here and there. Probably could have backed him up a little bit better with some offense, and could have had more offense from the United States in this tournament, right? That's where you got to point the finger there. Judge, Schwarber, Bregman, 0 for 10 in the championship game. And for the World Baseball Classic, Judge bat 222, Harper 214, Briggs 143, Will Smith 231, Byron Buxton I don't think got a hit in the World Baseball Classic. So a great atmosphere, great job by Venezuela. Congratulations. We did tell you who had the under. Also, that price was too high, obviously, on the United States. And, well, it wasn't Japan. It wasn't the Dominican Republic, but it was a team with a lot of enthusiasm there. They were the clear home favorite there in the atmosphere in Miami. I don't think it was necessarily a a dominant crowd for Venezuela numbers wise. There certainly seem to be just as many fans wearing USA gear, but those fans in Venezuela gear were just louder and in the end happier and willing to shed a tear there for Venezuela at the end of the game. A great atmosphere and great pregame too. They've kind of ruined it with the music there, but with the teams walking down with the spotlight, walking out to the uh, opening of the game. So that's it. We're ready to go for the regular season here in just a couple of weeks, but a tournament that will continue to be important. And again, we'll have another international tournament at the Olympic Games here in a short couple of years here. So great job out there at the World Baseball Classic for Venezuela. All right. Hey, thanks for joining me here on Night Moves. We're going to preview action here for Wednesday, including more NCAA tournament action. 2 more games in the play-in. We'll pick one game from the late contest out at the NIT there last night. We were able to get some winners here on the show yesterday, and we'll also preview NBA and NHL. We've actually found 2 games we're not going to preview here on the show. We found 2 games where they got some teams that aren't capable of making the playoffs, probably, unless they won every game. So thank you for joining me here on the show. We'll preview those games, but I want to go down to some of the winners here yesterday in the NCAA tournament. First of all, with Howard and Maryland, Baltimore County. In the first game, Howard led 49 to 41 at halftime. The Bison held on to win their 9th game in a row. Another Bryce Harris for Howard, 19 points, 14 rebounds, and they advanced to play number 1 seeded Michigan. Hey, I had the winner over at Tony's Picks in that one, as I had the over as my premium pick there yesterday. Easy over there at 142.5 there. They got bumped up there a little bit. The move was clearly on the over, and I had my premium pick. Hey, we also had the winner here on Night Moves last night with Howard in that one, pretty much at a pick. I think we actually were getting 1.5 there last night. I think the game then moved to a pick. Howard got the win for us here on Night Moves. And hey, I swept the board there with Night Moves last night, as I had Texas over NC State. They got it done there. Like I said, with that last second shot and last minute shot there for Texas. They also had Shendall Weaver there, double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds, as Texas will advance there with the victory. Texas 20-foot jumper with 1.1 seconds left gets that win. Longhorns led by 10 midway through the first half. Texas had the edge on the boards. They will advance to take on BYU on Thursday night. Let's see how Texas does moving forward. I don't think that's a tough matchup for BYU necessarily. We'll see what happens in that one. How'd you do in the NCAA tournament? And hey, how'd you do? Did you give the NIT a look there last night? Hey, we did have here on Night Moves a winner last night with our play on UNLV and Cal Irvine game to go under in the 75-72 win for UNLV. Tyron Jones, 13 points in the game there. Rebels led 26-11 in the first half, and they held on for the victory. But hey, we went 3-0 here on the show on Night Moves with our NCAA NIT combo picks there. Other games in the NIT, Auburn and South Alabama. It was Auburn getting the win there last night, but South Alabama got the cover 78-67 as Auburn led by 6, went on for the victory there by 11, but couldn't cover 16, 17 and a half, whatever it was. Tulsa over Stephen F. Austin
Major
as the
lineup.
Hurricanes reeled off an 8-0 spree at the end of overtime in that one to get the win. Stephen F. Austin did get the cover. Davidson lost to Oklahoma State as the Cowboys hit 21 free throws for the victory there, 84-80. Davidson got the money. Wyoming lost to Wichita State as Wyoming shot only 38% in the game there. Wichita won it 74-70 in that one, but Wyoming just got the cover there in the game. I tried a premium in that one with the over. Didn't quite get there in that one in the 74-70 game. It was 148 or so. Wilmington, the win over Yale. Christian May with that 3-point shot near the end of the game got the win there for Wilmington. A little bit of back and forth there at the end of the game, but it was Wilmington that gets the win over Yale as a dog. And Liberty beat George Mason to kind of take out some frustration after not winning their conference tournament, getting shut out despite a good record, as George Mason could only shoot 69%. Liberty got the win 77-71 as a 5-point dog there in the NIT. Action continues today. We'll preview one game in the NIT. Get ready. Also, NBA action. We found some winners on Night Moves last night, including the Oklahoma City Thunder and Orlando Magic game to go under there as the Thunder was able to, get that win, did a nice job. The Magic got the money as a home dog, but we did have the under as our play here on Night Moves for the winner there. We also had the New York Knicks over Indiana laying the big number. We said lay the big number, and they did in the win over the Pacers, 136-110 there. And also we had a winner with the San Antonio Spurs over Sacramento, 132-104 as San Antonio won in the Tankathon. NHL winners last night included my premium pick with the New York Islanders on the road, taking down the Toronto Maple Leafs as the Islanders continue to look good in a 3-1 victory. The Leafs no punch without Matthews, so the Islanders were able to get the win there. We also had a winner, Hurricanes and Blue Jackets game there with the Blue Jackets there. Also, a winner here. Let's see. A winner with I'm trying to find the winners here in hockey. Man, another rough one here. A long ways away from when we were on a hot streak there with the NHL. Man, did you guys have any winners in the NHL? I probably wasn't much of a help. Let me say hello to the folks in the chat here and try to cheer me up from that hockey card last night. And I'll go over to Tony'sPicks.com and check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who did well here on Tuesday night. Thank you for joining me. Get ready for some picks. I want to hear from you in the previews as well. Okay, let's take a look over at Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at those handicapper leaderboards. I want to say hello in the chat too. Cal Dog is here tonight. Greg is here as well, as ready to go with the college basketball. We'll lead off with college basketball again. Also, Mr. Weskers is here, ready to roll, and Damon is here. Says, any NBA picks? Damon, I will have NBA picks. I'm going to pick every game, actually. I'll pick one pick on every game here on the cards. Stay tuned. All right, over at Tony'sPicks.com here, we do have our handicapper leaderboard, and Jonathan Solo Malone on top of the handicapper leaderboards from Tuesday with a 4-1 record there, good for nearly 3 units. Hollywood Sam, a couple of units, 3-1. Double Shooty, up nearly 2 units there. Tony T continues to roll. He went 3-1 on Tuesday. Man, Tony cranking out pretty much 3-1 here every day for the last week, it seems like. Chris Atkins won his only play. Mills Young 2-1 last night. Damian Sosh 2-1. Brian Bittler 2-1. Ron Crawford 2-1. Winners over at Tony'sPicks.com last 7 days. Shane Mickle leading the way, nearly 65%, up 8 1/3 units. Bo Dunn having a good run. He's up over 5 units over the last 7 days. Brian Bittler up over 4 1/4 units over the last 7 days. Ron Crawford up nearly 4 units over the last 7 days. Justin Stacks McKelvey up nearly 3 2/3 units over the last 7 days. Kevin Thomas up a couple of units. Tony T showing the profit here over the last 7 days, last 30 days. Shane Mickles up 10 3/4 units. Tony T told you he's up 6 1/4 units over the last 30 days. Brian Bittler up there nearly 4 units of profit. Stephen Duncan up 3.5 units over the last month. And Mills Young is up also 3 units over the last month. Stephen Duncan continues to lead the yearly leaderboard, up nearly 38.5 units here this year. Nick Lagarettos up 11.5 units. Brian Bittler up nearly 8 2/3 units. And Al Ninos up nearly 8 units of profit so far in 2026. You can click on the All Cappers tab, find the handicapper of your choice, click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up. See the team of cappers here, and I'll be on there somewhere down the list anyway. We were able to find a few winners here yesterday for me. You see my track record here, pretty good over several sports, but oh man, couldn't quite get there as I dropped this one. Pistons and Wizards lost with that one in the NBA. Also, I had that over there, but there I had the Islanders and the over there with UMBC and Howard as part of my 4 plays. So 2-2 on the night, got juiced out. We'll get them tomorrow. Did like a soccer game there with Arsenal yesterday and couldn't pull the trigger here with the premiums, but more Champions League action tomorrow. Maybe I'll find a winner over in the Champions League. And a little bit of don't get a chance to break much news here on the show. Let me just real quick click on the Premium Picks tab. You'll see all the guys there with their premium picks here. And Bo Dunn got his guaranteed best bet. Also here, Ron Crawford, his college basketball 3-point play. Tony T's got his basketball play. Chris Adkins up there as well. Rod Zawacki's got his Wild Wednesday triple play. Alessandro here, he's got his UEFA Champions League play up there. All the guys with their premiums loaded up, locked and ready for the action here on Wednesday. Okay, I think we do have a little bit of breaking news here within the last couple of minutes. We don't get to break a lot of news here on the show, but this is just in here within the last couple of minutes. A big story here is the WNBA and the WNBA Players Association have reached a tentative verbal agreement for a new collective bargaining agreement. The historic deal is still expected to take weeks to ratify before taking effect for the upcoming 2026 WNBA season. It doesn't begin until May, so they will get to work it out. But this is a big story here. They will get the season underway here with that news that the Players Association has agreed to a tentative verbal agreement for a new collective bargaining agreement. The terms will now go to the players and the WNBA Board of Governors for a vote to ratify the new agreement. Of course, we're happy over here at Tony'sPicks.com because I love betting the WNBA, and we preview every game pretty much here all season long. So there will be a season here for the women, and they're doing a great job in that tournament also, by the way. Right now, they beat Spain yesterday. So big news right now coming out that real just within the last 5 minutes or so there with the agreement there between the WNBA and its players. All right, no jokes in the chat, okay? All right, let's see who else. Ron Jeff is coming in here right now to join us. There's Greg Gibson, ready for a good time. There's Ron Jeff. Good to see him tonight. And I think that's it from the preview. Let's get to our show. Talk about some of the games here on Wednesday night. We got a 9-game NBA card. We'll also preview 4 of the 6 games in the NHL, and I'll look at 3 college basketball games, including the big NCAA play-in games. So let's get ready to go. And we'll start it off in the NBA. Let's roll with the Golden State Warriors will take on the Boston Celtics. NBA action here for a Wednesday. Well, got Boston here. Hey, what can you say? They're back to looking incredible here. You got to wonder, man, ever since they've gotten Jason Tatum back and this team's back to kind of being on a roll here right now. There was some rough times, if you want to call it that. They've won 2 in a row here right now with victories over Phoenix and Washington. Did not cover the spread, by the way, in those 2 games, but Boston still 27 and 22 as a favorite. But hey, we're laying some big points here, and the Warriors are not necessarily in the tankathon here. We know the Warriors are actually likely to make the postseason here. The currently sitting in 9th place. Make the play-in tournament anyway. I'm not sure they'll be able to get past the Suns or the Clippers or whoever ends up there. I will say this, though. For the Warriors, the Clippers aren't actually pulling away. So if they could get to 8th place, so that would be important. Now, they are a big underdog here against the Celtics team. The Warriors are 11 and 13 against the spread as an underdog. And, still a tough number, but Boston, they've covered 10 of their last 15 overall. They've won 15 of 20 coming into this one. Boston's gone under in 7 of their last 9 games. The Warriors here have lost 5 of their last 6 games overall. Golden State is 7 and 3 against the spread in their last 10 games against the Boston Celtics. Golden State just 2 and 4 straight up in their last 6 games against Boston. What do you think of this one with the Celtics here getting all these giving all these points to Golden State on Wednesday night? I'm not saying that Golden State is tanking at all. We know they're just trying to get there, trying to hang on to this playoff spot. Let me go to the chat here so I try to get rolling here a little bit. All right. Let's see here. Mr. Wesker is here talking the injury report in this one. What will KP status be here in this one? You got for the Warriors. I show KP is in this game, but Seth Curry is out. Big Al is out. Moses Moody out with that wrist injury right now. Cryer is probable. Quentin Post probable here for the Celtics. Not much to report on the injury report. Vucevic still out here, but that's really it. And let's see here. Hello to Larry today, joining us from Canada. Nice to have Larry in the chat. Cal Dog likes the over here. And Mr. Weskers, maybe he could lay it here with the Celtics. That's the way I feel, too. They should be able to take care of this. I don't think 12 points is awful here. But Greg here wants the Warriors on the spread. Greg Gibson says Boston covers the spread when they come in off of a loss. Of course, Boston won their last game over Phoenix, 120 to 112. All right, let's see here. And Greg likes it 113 to 110. He likes the Celtics to win this one. Warriors coming in off of a win over Washington, 125 to 117. They were favored by 7.5. They got the money there in that one. We take your plays in the chat as well. Let me hear from you if you'd like. Before that, the Warriors had been on a losing streak, although they have covered two in a row right now. Boston is 17 and 32 to the under as a favorite. The Warriors are an over team, no doubt about it, this year, 41 and 27 to the over, but 11 and 13 to the under as a dog. So, yeah, maybe they're an over, but this is the one roll where they kind of don't go over occasionally, more just slightly more often than not. But when you're going up against a team like Boston that's a hardcore under, maybe it is going to be an under here. The last meeting, they did play their other meeting already this season. Boston won it 121 to 110 as a 6 point favorite at Golden State. It did go well over the 211 and a half in that one. All right. Any more in the chat? Let me know here. We've got Chris Warren. He likes Boston here. And Damon says he feels like Golden State can cover. Ron Jeff likes Jaylen Brown to have a big game. And Greg says Boston is indeed back. They're ready to go. I think they, you look at, we try to give the East a lot of credit in the beginning, right? And talking about, look, and the Knicks have been very, very good. But now that you look at it in the end, and the Pistons, we'll see what Cade Cunningham's status. He was injured tonight. I don't think it's serious, but he's definitely going to miss, I believe. I think he probably could miss some games here with the injury. And so all of a sudden, I mean, not saying that the Boston Celtics are overwhelming favorites or anything like that right now, but it just seems to me here that when you think about it, they look to be the best team here all of a sudden again. Nothing against the Pistons and what they've done, but adding Tatum back in there seems like it has changed things a little bit. All right, Damon likes the over. Chris says go Tatum under here. And Boston and Thunder, Greg likes it. He likes that for the championship series, the NBA Finals. All right, well, for me here, I'm going to go ahead and take the Boston Celtics to roll over Golden State here on Night Moves. Give me the Celtics to win it. I'm not in the tankathon with these guys. I just think right now Celtics are looking pretty good. They're obviously a very, very solid cover here right now, especially as a favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Celtics in this one. All right, next one. We are in the tankathon here with the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the Thunder are leading the West, of course, here, trying to hold off the Spurs. The Thunder lead it by 3 games currently over San Antonio for the number 1 spot in the West. Here, the Thunder are the only team to have clinched an actual playoff berth so far, although 6 other teams would at least qualify for a minimum play-in tournament. So 7 teams are actually already solidly in the postseason in the Western Conference, if you want to call the play-in the postseason. And so over in the Eastern Conference, just 3 teams have garnered at least the play-in so far. This is because, there's still 14 games to go here in the season for the most part, 14, 15 games. For for the Brooklyn Nets here, they are out of the playoffs certainly here, so we're in the tankathon right now. Oklahoma City comes in 54 and 15. They're riding another winning streak. Meanwhile, Brooklyn, they're back to losing 4 straight losses here for Brooklyn coming in. They've lost 12 of their last 14 games overall. They've lost 6 of their last 7 at home. They're just 5-11 against the spread in their last 16 games overall. Brooklyn's gone under in 6 of their last 9. For the Thunder here, they've won 9 straight games. but they're 1-8 against the spread. So look, even maybe Brooklyn could get this one. I know we're in the tankathon, but you're laying 19 points right now against with a team that doesn't cover anything against anybody, but they win. So can you do it? Would you do it? You still want to take the Brooklyn Nets here in this one against the Thunder? The Thunder have gone under in 7 of their last 8 games overall. They've covered 6 of the last 8 meetings against Brooklyn. But man, that's just so funny, you know. I mean, and maybe you know what? Maybe there is something to pacing yourself a little bit, making sure you're ready for the postseason. Oklahoma City failed last game against Orlando as a 10-point favorite there last night, and they won 113 to 108 on the road. Now, Orlando, that's a little bit different animal. They were able to cover here. Now, the one cover that they have had in the last 9 games was the previous game against Minnesota when they won 118 to 103. But before that, losses against the spread to teams like Boston and Denver and Golden State. None of them were 19 points. They were laying 12 to Golden State. Oklahoma City, though, just 29 and 38 against the spread as a favorite. Brooklyn, not much better, 27 and 36. But again, it's got to come down a little bit here to, what we've seen from the Thunder, not covering the spread, not able to get these blowouts. So for Brooklyn here, the games they've covered here recently include 15 and a half points against Atlanta on the road. Gosh, I mean, you got to almost consider the the Nets here, given the Thunder's ways of not covering. Let me hear from you in the chat. Brooklyn, under in 6 of their last 9. Coming in, they're 28 and 35 to the under this season. Let's go to the chat, shall we? Here we go. All right, let's take a look at the injury report here, says Mr. Weskers. How about Jamal Giuseppe's with us? He's like under in this one between, I believe, Oklahoma City and Brooklyn is the game that he's talking about. Greg Gibson says 12 points is only 6 baskets. That one, good point. Good point. And Curry needs to come back. Oh, man, really wonder if he's going to. And then we saw another injury tonight from Giannis, and that feels like it for Giannis. He might be done for this. Might be done for the season. Not that his hyperextended knee. Remember, he actually won a championship, I think, pretty much with a hyperextended knee, but just gives him one more excuse maybe to wrap it up. It seems like his injuries have been so off and on here of late that I think that's just the way it's going to be. I think it's probably going to wrap it up here, actually. Okay, free indeed. Greg says Brooklyn to cover. Cal Dog, too many points, but he wouldn't consider taking Brooklyn here. And Chris says, there's just no doubt. It's hard to ignore that Brooklyn spread number there. Thunder here for Greg Gibson there, I think. He says they'll win there. I think he'll win comfortably, I think he's saying. And let's see here. He does. He has the Thunder there by 22. And Greg says Vegas wants you to take Brooklyn. Okay, I will. I'll take them. I'll take Brooklyn. Vegas said take Brooklyn. I'll take Brooklyn. I'll take Brooklyn here in the – oh, boy, that violates the Tankathon rules. But, hey, I think it's fair. And, again, I would wonder, like, the total 215 here, I would think that this might be achievable on the over because I think the Thunder – look, the Nets don't have any explosiveness going right now or anything like that. But, again, I think the reason why the Thunder doesn't cover is they just end up maybe giving it too points on the back end. Now they have, against good teams, limited to under 110 points. But they might be able to put up a much bigger number than they usually do here and still not cover the spread. So I'll take Brooklyn here in this one. Greg says Brooklyn will not score 100 here. All right, next up, Trailblazers at Pacers here. You got the Trailblazers going to be making the postseason here. They're going to be making the tournament in the play-in tournament here. Right now, the Blazers are in 10th place, but they're just a half a game behind the 9th place Warriors and 1.5 behind the 8th place Clippers. The goal here would be 8th place for sure. Like I said, I keep saying it, but I got to repeat it every night. Your chances of making the playoffs as a 7 or 8 seed is dramatic over the 9 and 10. The 7 and 8s almost always make it. The 9 and 10s almost never make it. The percentage is exactly in proportion to those seeds. The 7, I believe, has made it all but one time. The 8 has made it all but a handful. The 9 has made it just a couple of times, and the 10 has only made it maybe. I'm gonna come with the numbers there as we get closer here. I'll get the exact numbers, but I promise you, it is almost, since they started the play-in tournament, it is almost exactly in the percentage of in order of those seeds, which makes sense, but it's actually quite dramatic being in the 7 or 8. So the Trailblazers not out of the 8 at all. Like I said, just a game and a half behind the Clippers. And the Clippers, we talked about all that momentum, but it really hasn't carried over too much here right now. Still, you do have a tankathon game here with the Trailblazers. Favored again by 10.5. You don't expect the Blazers to be able to get these road numbers, but they're not doing an awful job. They've gotten it here a few times. They just got it the other night against the Brooklyn Nets, laying 11. They won 114-95. They also laid 9.5 to this Indiana team at home and won by 20. Just 10 days ago. So can they do it here against the Pacers on the road and get a tankathon win and cover right now? Portland is not a terrific cover this season, but Indiana's been pretty bad here of late. They're once again in another losing streak here. All of a sudden, they've lost a gazillion in a row here. Currently, Indiana's losing streak stands at 14 games. Between Indiana and the Wizards here at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings, they've lost a combined 27 games in a row. Wow. All right, so tell me what you think here in this one between the Trailblazers and the Pacers here. Portland has won 4 of the last 5 against Indiana and covered the spread in all 5 of those games. Not only has Indiana lost 14 in a row, they've gone 1-13 against the spread in those 14 games. How are you even not going to consider Portland in the tankathon to roll in this game? Portland is just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9. Maybe that would be it. As far as limiting them, Indiana's 26-33 as an underdog against the spread this season, but I think you just got to look at the shorter sample size here. Indiana's gone over in 10 of its last 13 games. They've gone under, though, in 7 of their last 9 games against the Portland Trailblazers. The teams meet just twice a year. Portland here has gone under in 4 of their last 6 games. However, Portland as a favorite is 21-9 to the over as a favorite. Indiana 31-28 to the over's dog. Portland is 15-20 to the under on the road, but again, 21-9 as a favorite is pretty dramatic. I've got to take the Portland Trailblazers here, you guys. I'm taking the Blazers. Why not? I mean, 1-13 for Indiana against the spread in their last 14 games, and I don't know, spread's pretty much double digits every time right now for Indiana. They failed against the they failed against the Knicks, getting 14. They failed against the Bucks, getting 7.5. They failed against Phoenix, getting 9.5. They failed against the Kings. Even the only team they covered against was the Knicks. We just mentioned they failed against the Knicks, but that was I don't even know if it's revenge, but the Knicks were 12.5 point favorites back 4 days ago, won by 9, came back to win by 26 there 2 nights ago, or last night in that game against the Pacers. So I'm going to go ahead and take Portland in this one. Let's see what you have in the chat here. With the Blazers and the Pacers. Okay, let's see here. Portland shouldn't be laying 10.5 again, says Mr. Whiskers. Jamal might like the under here in this one between the Pacers and the Trailblazers. I would have to probably, I probably would endorse that normally here, but I don't know. The Trailblazers with that uncanny 21-9 as a favorite to the over. Cal Dog on the Pacers. Greg says Portland should not be that big of a favorite against anyone. I probably would agree, but Indiana, that 1-13 record against the spread, I mean, that is who else would, what if they were playing the Nets? Greg here is going to be on the Pacers, it looks like. Damon says the Blazers will cook. Dogs are going to bark here, says Greg. Mr. Wesker's no fan of Carlisle. And he says Carlisle and Doc are the master coaches of tanking teams. Damon's on the Blazers on the money line here. Cal Dog says Portland just trying to win. They're not worried about covering. But they might cover by accident against this Indiana team. Portland couldn't cover against Philly. Portland didn't even beat Philly, right? Okay. Mr. West was just tired of laying double digits with Portland, right? We're treating them like they're, one of the top 3 teams in the league, it feels like. And take the points when you got 2 bums playing. Portland's going to the postseason. And Carlisle just stands there with his arms folded. You know how it is. I'm taking Portland in this one. All right, next up, we're going to the Tankathon again here with the Jazz, taking on the Timberwolves. Minnesota favored by 12, total 233. Minnesota's won 2 of their last 3 coming in. They just beat Phoenix last night, a 116-104. I was left holding the bag there. I tried the underdog there because I thought Phoenix playing pretty terrific here, getting these covers and hanging in there, but it was Minnesota confidently over Phoenix. Minnesota hasn't been a great cover. We know that. Just 22-33 against the spread as a favorite, 15-20 against the spread at home. Utah is 18-16 against the spread on the road, but Utah's lost 3 straight and failed to cover in 2 of those 3 games. They come in off of a loss to Sacramento, 116-111 as a 3.5-point underdog. Minnesota's won 10 of its last 15, but just 4-9 against the spread in their last 13 games overall. For Utah, they've dropped 11 of 13 here. They've also lost 6 of their last 7 on the road. Utah is just 2-10 straight up and in their last 12 games against the Timberwolves, but they have covered for the last 6 meetings. between the two teams. Minnesota's gone under in 8 of its last 10 games, and also they've gone under in 5 of their last 6 games here at home. Minnesota is 11 and 24 to the under at home this season. Utah's 15 and 18 to the under on the road, despite the fact that they're 35 and 25 to the over as an underdog. Now, look, this might be a tankathon game, but Minnesota, like I said, they're just not great against the spread overall. 29 and 40 ATS here. For Utah here in this one, Collier questionable, Konkar questionable, Bailey questionable, Keontae George is out. Filipowski is probable here. Minnesota, Ant Edwards still out right now, and we did learn tonight. I think it's even going to be longer than anticipated for Edwards here right now with him out of the lineup. Naz Reid also questionable here, so a little bit dicey here with this Minnesota team right now, and without their star, they're certainly in the postseason and trying to fight here through and move up. They're in 6th place. I think they'll at least finish in 6th. I don't think they'll fall back, but again, the Suns are trying to move up here a little bit. All right, let's go to the chat and get your play in this one. Okay, Timberwolves and over, says Damon. Mr. Wesker says you got Pascal's day-to-day. Need him in there. Mr. Wesker doesn't want to lay any double digits right now with the Wolves either. Jamal says maybe buy it down here on the Wolves. And Greg says Minnesota's going to be drained from that win over Phoenix there last night. All right. Yeah, for me here, I'm going to go ahead and take the under in this one with Utah and Minnesota. Give me the under with these two right now. 233 without Edwards in there. I think under is the way to go. Like I said, Minnesota 11 and 24 to the under at home. That's with Edwards in there. Usually they've also been a solid under here of late, going under in, as I said, 8 of their last 10 and 5 of their last 6 at home. Utah is an over team when they are an underdog, but again, just 15 and 18 to the under on the road, and you're always an underdog on the road, so I think this is a little bit tougher for them. I'm going to go ahead and go under, though, here in this one with Utah and Minnesota. Greg also Utah on the under here. And Cal Dog will tease the Wolves here. He might take it down there 4 or 5 points. Mr. Wester says the Jazz do get off to pretty good starts. Clippers and Pelicans NBA action here for Wednesday night. Clippers here, like I said, this is the battle for the Clippers right now. If they could just move up here and stay in this position, at least in 8th place, you got to stay ahead of the Warriors, got to stay ahead of the Trailblazers. That is key. Pelicans, meanwhile, they have shown signs of life despite being in the tankathon here. They've actually won 3 of their last 4 games coming in, and they're on a massive cover streak right now, actually. They're actually favored in this game, though, by 1.5 against the Clippers. We know the Clippers, definitely some injury woes here, but Kawhi Leonard has been upgraded here to questionable. That's good news. He actually might make this game. Garland also questionable here. Mathurin is out. For the Pelicans here, DeJounte Murray questionable. McGowan's is questionable here. This is interesting because the Pelicans, there aren't many teams hotter against the spread anyway than the Pelicans right now. But the Clippers still were playing great, right? Uh, of late, definitely have been good enough to work themselves into position here to get to the play-in right now. But man, the Pelicans are a covering machine with 6 straight covers, including 5 straight covers at home. New Orleans actually won 8 of their last 12 overall as well. Clippers have won 7 of their last 10. 13-4 against the spread in their last 17 games. Clippers have defeated New Orleans in 4 of the last 5 meetings, but they're just 1-6 against the spread in the last 7 meetings against the Pelicans. However, they're a dog here. The Clippers are a terrific dog at 22-13, but New Orleans is the best favorite in the league at 11-3. This is a real perplexing game here. Pelicans 21-13 against the spread at home. Clippers, a real positive team, good cover here for sure. They did lose last time out to San Antonio, 119-115. They did cover as an 8.5-point dog in that game before that loss against Sacramento in an upset. But beat the Bulls, beat the Wolves, beat the Knicks. Let's see what you've got in this one. Clippers and Pelicans. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over. The Clippers have gone over in 19 of 33 on the road. Okay, here we go with your picks. All right. And we've got here, there we go. We'll go with Cal Dog here. Clippers. Mr. Weskers, no fan of Kawhi always being injured. The guy's got no cartilage in his knee. Can't play every game. Greg says the Clippers will bounce back. Clippers and the under here. Clippers look good against the Spurs, Greg said. Cal Dog agrees with Mr. Weskers. Pelicans playing well, says Chris. No doubt about it. Greg says Clippers will not lose back-to-back games. Well, they've lost 2 in a row right now, so they're trying not to lose 3 in a row.
Major line move.
Pelicans here for Chris.
Major line move.
And let's see. Greg says underdog here. Underdog special this game. He likes the Clippers. Don't sleep on the Clippers. Mr. Western Balmer's a sideshow Bob in there. I think Mr. Weskers was Steve Ballmer, right? Is he a fake fan, right? I mean, even when we have a big bet, we don't cheer as obnoxious as that guy. It looks like the guy that you take to the game and he wants to root for a team, right? And he roots too hard. He's like, you're like, stop trying so hard, man. He looks like he doesn't know, and he doesn't know when to cheer. He cheers at the wrong moment. Here's Damon on the Pelicans here. This one, the totals moved up here a little bit too. What is that? 228 right now? I think it's higher than that. Oh gosh, it's way higher than that. Ay, ay, ay. 233 right now. Gosh, even I think that might be going through the roof. I didn't know it went to 233. The Pelicans are now a 2-point favorite. I typed these in when I was watching the baseball game tonight. This thing's gone up 5 points here in the last few hours. And this one, that might be getting a little out of control. The New Orleans is not an overwhelming. It's not like they're an overwhelming over team. In fact, they're pretty much 50-50. And the Clippers are not a massive over team. Yes, they do tend to lean over, but I'm taking the Clippers in this one. You better believe it. Clippers have to win, keep winning, and this is one they can win. If Kawhi's in, I'm in. Looks like Kawhi will make this lineup, in my opinion, and I'll take the Clippers here on the road to beat the Pelicans. But that total's got crazy. Come on. All right, and let's see here. I think that might be it there. Let's keep it moving here right now. Move to the next one here with another playoff postseason bound team in the Toronto Raptors on the road. Uh, for Toronto, they're in the 5 slot here, but again, this is that in situation where we're just not sure what's going to happen between the 5 and the 9 here, pretty much, maybe even the 10 because the Hornets keep coming. Raptors are holding on to the 5 spot by a half a game over the Magic, and then the Heat are 1 game back of that. The Hawks are half a game back of that, and the Sixers are half a game back of that. Every day could see these teams kind of bopping along like a Kalshi graph. For Toronto here, they're 38 and 29 overall. They're a 7.5 point favorite here. We definitely have a tankathon game. The Bulls aren't going to be able to make this 7 game gap up, and I think they got to be realistic with themselves about that here. Right now for the Bulls, they come in here having lost 15 of their last 19, but they are coming in off of a win here last time out. They were able to knock off the Memphis Grizzlies. They crushed them there 2 nights ago, 132 to 107. Toronto, meanwhile, has won 2 in a row, home games over Phoenix and Detroit, and they covered them both. Chicago is 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. So, yeah, they've been covering some games here as an underdog. They covered against the Clippers a couple before that Memphis win. They've actually covered 3 of their last 4 games overall. Chicago has beaten Toronto in 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. Toronto's gone under in 10 of their last 14 games. Overall in 5 of their last 6 on the road. Chicago's gone under in 9 of their last 11 here right now. This one reeks of an under, doesn't it? Toronto's 11 and 21 to the under on the road, 13 and 25 to the under as a dog, and Chicago's 12 and 23 to the under at home, going under, like I said, in all those games here recently. So maybe under is the call, but I think the Raptors are going to be able to get this money on the road. 7.5 is probably a point or two more than I'd like to lay here, but I'm going to take the Raptors here, I think, in the tankathon in this one. For the Raptors, they're pretty much healthy all the way. Murray Boyles is doubtful here, but for the Bulls, you got Sexton questionable or Coro doubtful here. Give me the Raptors here in this one. I'll go to the chat now and see what you have. For this one, we've got Timmy Two Shoes is on the Raptors. Cal Dog says, take the Raptors and buy it down. Greg is on Toronto here. Or well, he says Toronto win anyway. And Damon here says Raptors are the play, but the Bulls could be sneaky in this one as a home dog. Greg says that's a lot of points on the road there. Maybe the Bulls could do it just this time. Like I said, they've covered 3 of 4, so it's not out of the question here. All right. Let's keep it moving right now, and let's go to another. It seems like a lot of these tonight are, playoff team against tankathon. Playoff team against non-playoff team, yeah.
Major line move.
All right, it's going to be the Nuggets here on the road, favored by 12.5 over the Grizzlies. But we know that the Nuggets too, they're kind of not as interested, it feels like, in covering these big numbers right now. It's actually 13 here, and the total I have is wrong. Let me fix that. That one was just a typo. It's 241 or so. I think the Nuggets were in action, so I think I didn't have a total. That wasn't my estimate there, but nonetheless. All right, and let's see what you got, though, here with this one. With the Nuggets, we're in the tankathon game here, obviously. Now, again, I think when you're looking at a lot of these non-playoff teams and you just want to see at least some signs of life, the Memphis Grizzlies aren't necessarily giving you that right now. They are again here on a losing streak. Uh, Memphis currently dropping their last 8 games in a row here, just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. Denver comes in having won 3 of their last 4. They've gone 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games overall. Denver has defeated Memphis in 9 of their last 10 meetings, covering 6 of the last 8 times they've faced off. Uh, Memphis has gone over in 5 of their last 7. Denver's gone over in 4 of their last 6 coming in. Denver 29-16 to the over as a favorite, 27-10 to the over on the road, and Memphis 18-13 to the over at home. So maybe 241 is supposed to be pretty high number, but 13 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Let's see what you have here in this one, though, when Denver takes on Memphis here. Can the Nuggets get the number here, this big number in the tankathon? Denver is 23-14 ATS on the road. That's usually where they have their success. They're only 22-33 ATS as a favorite, but Memphis is 19-27 ATS as an underdog. These two teams met back in February. Denver won it 122-116, did not get the number. However, back in November, they did win here at Memphis 125-115, laying 6.5 to cover. Go to the chat here, see what you think in this one. Okay, here we go. And oh yeah, do I have the time wrong there on some of these, Mr. Weskers? Yeah, they moved that. You're right. They did move the Denver game back there a little bit. Move. This is actually at 8:40 Eastern, 5:40 Pacific. So yeah, it's going to be after that. I think other than that, I think we're right. I think they're all right there. I think the time order is just fine, actually. But this one is a time change for sure. Okay, let's see. Let's start with Timmy Two Shoes here. He's on the Nuggets. Damon here on the Nuggets as well. Cal Dog says he'll take the Nuggets here. And that might be it from you guys there in this one. All right. I think I'd prefer the Nuggets here in the Tankathon as well. Give me the Denver Nuggets. You know I'm always going to the favorites in these games. That hasn't been perfect here. What happened yesterday? What happened yesterday in the Tankathon? The Pistons, well, once Cunningham went down, the Pistons weren't going to get the 18.5. They might not have gotten it anyways, right? The Knicks won in the Tankathon. The Cavs did not cover in the Tankathon there yesterday. And the Nuggets did cover their Tankathon game, and the Spurs did. So what is that, 4-2? 4-2 for the Tankathon teams yesterday. Here's Denver and the under there for Greg. Timmy Two Shoes on Denver. I'm going to take him as well. Give me Denver. Hello to Tim. All right. Yeah, I saw Joker was, not only was Joker in there, he was talking to Embiid there at the end of the game. By the way, for Memphis, they're still in the same boat they've been in here with a few injuries anyway. Gigi Jackson questionable, Ty Jerome questionable, Small is questionable. Aldama is officially out now for the rest of the season. All right, let's move on here. Go to... it's another Tankathon game, man. How many are there today? Well, a couple. The Warriors aren't in the Tankathon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 games. 6 of the 9 games. Man, that makes it tough, doesn't it? All right, but let's see here. We got to go with the Hawks and the Mavericks here. The Hawks are so hot right now. Anybody can win the East here. It feels like I'm not going to put the Hawks in that category, but they're still only in eighth place despite winning 10 straight games. Remember, they were even before the 10 straight wins, they had kind of had a little bit of a win streak in there, too. A little. More wins than losses for a few games. That's how incredible this run has been for the Atlanta Hawks right now. 10 straight wins. They are in eighth place. Like I said, that is the key position. Been saying it all year, but that is the key position really for these teams. And they are just half a game ahead of Philadelphia, just half a game behind the Miami Heat. So let's see here. They're laying a big number here in the Tankathon, but Atlanta seems like there's no stopping us. They're not only winning, they're covering them all. They just beat Orlando the other night by 12. They were favored by 3.5. They beat Milwaukee by 23 points, favored by 10.5. Now, they did fail against Brooklyn, laying 16.5, but they still won by 9. They beat Dallas by 12. They were favored by 10. They beat the Sixers by 9, favored by 6.5. Atlanta, 19-14 against the spread on the road. They've covered 9 of their last 10 games coming into this one. So they're covered them all during this win streak. Dallas is just 2-10 in its last 12 straight up, 0-9. Their last 9 home games straight up, 2-5 against the spread in their last 7. Atlanta's just 2-4 against the spread. Their last 6 against Dallas. Atlanta's gone under in 9 of their last 13. Dallas has gone under in 9 of their last 11. This one seems like it would be more of an under, right? Atlanta still does go over in 19 of 33 games on the road, but they are 15-18 to the under as a favorite, and Dallas is 21-27 to the under as a dog. So 238.5. I'm not interested.
Major line move.
I would have to. In fact, it's gone down maybe to 237.5 right now, and the line here though is mostly 8 or 8.5, and I gotta fix it anyways here. I'll call it 8.5. And that total here, maybe it's gone down to 238, 237.5 here. There we go. But I'm going to have to go with Atlanta. I'm going to take another Tankathon team. Give me Atlanta. Give me all these road favorites tonight, or all these favorite. Like I said, hey, I did take Brooklyn going against the Thunder there, but give me Atlanta in this one. Let's see how you guys have it in the chat. Okay, here we go. Mr. Weskers has the Mavs on the money line in this one to knock off these Hawks. Mavs in the points for Cal Dog. Think of any game. I think of all the games, this one probably has the least impactful injuries. Dallas is the one that has the injuries here, but Caleb Martin questionable, Gafford questionable, Brandon Williams questionable. So maybe more so than not. Let's see here. Greg says these teams played just a week ago. Yeah, that was the one, right? Atlanta got that cover, 124-112. And Jimmy Choo says these Mavericks are not laying down. They beat Cleveland. They beat Memphis here recently. Greg says 125-115 Atlanta. Greg's also Atlanta in the over. And let's see. Greg says maybe at worst it's a 5-point game in there. Mavs for Timmy Chushu. A lot of Mavs support here. Mr. Wester says most of Atlanta's wins have come at home. Yeah, for sure. I think they're 19 and 16. It's pretty much even though, I think. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take the Hawks here in this one. All right, next up, I think the game of the night here probably with the Lakers taking on the Rockets. Here they come. These are these Lakers here right now. They come in here covering all the games the teams just played the other night here 2 nights, 3 nights ago in Houston. Right here is the Lakers been hanging out. They won at 100-92. They won as a 1 point favorite in that one. Houston did win in LA back in December, 119-96 on Christmas. But here's your revenge that you guys like to go with here. For the Lakers, they've won and covered 6 straight coming in. They've also covered 4 of the last 5 meetings against the Houston Rockets. Houston just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games overall right now. Houston just 12-20 against the spread at home, 24-34 against the spread as a favorite. However, the Lakers are just 11-16 ATS as a dog. No guarantees that they'll continue to be a dog here, but I think they actually are a 2.5 point favorite right now over the Lakers. And that total is 222.5 for sure. Lakers have been hot to the number here right now of late. However, they have gone under in 6 of their last 9. Houston's gone under in 15 of their last 18 games at home. They're 10-22 to the under at home, 25-33 to the under as a favorite. 6 of the last 9 meetings between the two have gone under. Houston's gone under in 5 of 6. I'm going to take the under in this one between the Lakers and the Rockets. Give me the under in this one. Kind of want to side with the Lakers, but revenge has been, you guys have really been all over it when the revenge factor. I'm not saying you guys are always playing the revenge factor, but it does seem like when you guys have been on the revenge factor, it's been coming through. But does it come through here? Okay, let's see here. Mr. Wester says KD, right? It is starting to look bad. I mean, poor KD, I don't want to say poor KD, but man, there are moments when he really starts to look his age. And not only that, the chemistry on Houston, because you got KD, I'm sure it's because of KD, it's not looking great. But I do want to say Fambao Podcast is here for the first time, I believe, saying let's go Houston. So I don't want to be disrespectful of Houston right now. In fact, I think we've given them plenty of props throughout the year. And look, they're still in 4th place in this whole thing. Now they are starting to lose contact a little bit with the Lakers. They've put themselves into that position where they're battling now the Rockets, Nuggets, and Timberwolves. They're still achievable to stay with the Lakers here. It's just the Lakers have that winning streak. And remember, the Rockets were ahead of them just a short time ago. So this would be big, though. Obviously, if you can win, you could, pull them within a half a game of them. So I'll take the under, though, here in this one. And thank you to Fambo Podcast in there.
Major line.
Can't trust the Rockets, says Cal Dog. Luca and crew, Greg says. I think he likes the Lakers here. And Timmy says, not KD. It's some of the other guys, too. They're not. Yeah, and you see the frustration on KD, right? And Timmy says he's not even a KD guy. All right, Houston has no choice. Timmy says they couldn't make a basket. Greg says Lakers and under here. I want to go. I'll decide. I mean, I'll just take the under. I'll leave it at that. I'm going with the under. All right, that's it for the NBA, I guess. We didn't even start with college basketball. Mr. Weskers is going to scold me for that, or maybe he's happy about it. Let's go ahead and go to the college games here tonight. The big play-in tournament in Dayton. Let's see what we got. I want to say real quick here, Chris Warren, Lakers money line. Thank you, Chris. All right, NCAA tournament play-in. Lehigh Mountain Hawks taking on Prairie View A&M here in this one. Lehigh continues to move here as the favorite, up to -3.5 now, and this one opened considerably lower. I won't say considerably, but somewhat lower. Bet Online opened at 1.5. South Point out here opened at 1. Bet US opened at 1.5. So I've seen this one rise. Here feels like the Mountain Hawks been getting the money. Prairie View coming in here 18-17. Lehigh coming in here 18-16. But both teams riding winning streaks, of course. That's how they got here. But they were winning a little bit before that too. Both teams are winning, not only winning but covering. So I think that shows how dominant they've been, at least in this role right now. In these roles here, rolling up as real deep, low-rated conferences here in the 16-16 game in the play-in, but still. Prairie View with wins and covers in conference play over Southern, Alabama A&M, Bethune-Cookman, Alcorn, Texas Southern. They covered them all. In fact, winning those games, 4 of them, they were underdogs in the game and won. Now here they are a favorite. They're still a decent favorite here, talking about Prairie View A&M. 12-6, or as a dog here, 12-6 as an underdog for Prairie View A&M this season. Pretty solid, I'd say. Meanwhile, Lehigh just 5-5 as a favorite here. So, yeah, you got to kind of compare the conferences too. But that is interesting that Prairie View has been such a nice underdog, and well, Lehigh just a 50-50 proposition when laying the points. Lehigh comes in. They covered against BU, of course, in the final there, 74-60. They won and covered as a dog against Colgate. They did fail against Holy Cross, but won the game. They covered against Bucknell. They covered against American. Lehigh with a 6-game winning streak, 5-1 ATS in that span. Prairie View has covered 10 straight games right now. Prairie View's also gone under in 7 straight games. Lehigh's gone under in 5 of their last 7 games overall. Prairie View under in 19 of 31 games this season. Lehigh was a slightly over team for the most part. Let's see what you guys think in this one with Prairie View taking on Lehigh, and how do you measure how do you measure here with these two teams and how they played and how they came out of their conference tournaments? I'm going to go to the chat and hear from you guys in this one. Prairie View, won their tournament there, won 4 games in 5 days to get that SWAC bid. Meanwhile, Lehigh, the Patriot League champs, you got to compare maybe the two conferences there. Lehigh, you got Nasser Whitlock in there. He averages 21 points per game for Prairie View. Dante Horn is their star. He averages 20 points per game. Both teams relatively healthy. The winner will take on Florida. Okay, here we go. Mr. Weskers is on Lehigh. Chris loves this matchup. I thought yesterday, hey, I don't like the 11-11 game, but it was a good game, and the 16-16 game was very good, right? I thought it was a great job by Maryland-Baltimore County to hang in that game. I think Maryland-Baltimore County's got to have the smartest coach in the league. I mean, he saw right away his interview there, but the first half was incredible. Pointed out exactly what was happening with the team and knew what he had to fix and did. But Howard just had built a big enough lead there to hang on in the end. But Baltimore County did a nice job. Okay, here we go. Chris is on Prairie View on the money line here. And Timmy Two Shoes liking Prairie View. Cal Dog Prairie View money line. Greg there liking Lehigh to win. Good spread teams here. Yeah, gotta like that, right? Lehigh also 19 and 13. Prairie View's been a little bit more solid. Look, I think the difference for me here is kind of going to be that, Prairie View 12 and 5, ATS is a dog, and Lehigh 5 and 5, ATS is a favorite. Matt here liking Lehigh. Prairie View and over there for Greg, but Andrew likes Lehigh here. Yeah, I think for someone like me, it's pretty hard to ignore a 10-game spread winning streak. I'm going to take the Prairie View Panthers here. Give me Prairie View in this one. Coming off a 2-0 day myself here in the NCAA play-in, so let's roll it to 3-0. I'm going to take Prairie View A&M. All right, now we go to a great game here and a great storyline, not short of storylines here with SMU and Miami of Ohio. Amazing here to think, hey, I'm glad they're in. I'm of that camp that they probably don't deserve to be in from the standing of the metrics. I believe in all those metrics and numbers that these conferences, don't match up. Even the best teams of the conference don't match up with those. But I don't want those teams. I might be contradicting myself. But I mean, I believe in the metrics, but I'd rather see teams like Miami of Ohio win. Is that bad? Am I being kind of wishy-washy? All right, let's hear about what you think about Miami of Ohio and what you think will happen in this game. Now, there is some big news here, obviously, in this game. To me, it lies in the injury report here for SMU, and I don't know how. Again, for SMU, remember they're obviously a first four in team here, but SMU. One of the things that when they interviewed the tournament committee man, he said that he understood that SMU's BJ Edwards, who missed the conference tournament with an ankle injury, would return for the NCAA tournament. The tournament committee representative said that played a factor in putting SMU into the tournament. That they thought because he had missed some games that maybe they had just missed out on enough quote unquote points, if you will, good performances that would have had SMU in the tournament should they have played with their leader there and maybe won a game or two in the ACC tournament. So I think what's happened there is maybe Andy Enfield pulled a fast one on them. They did beat Syracuse, I should make it clear, but they did not beat Louisville there. And they were a 6.5-point dog there, and they did cover the spread. So, look, SMU does have a lot of things going for them, but will they be missing, their man BJ Edwards there? They, still got Boopy Miller. Come on, 19 points per game. Miami, of course, enters with a 31-1 record. They went 18-0 during the regular season. SMU was 20-13, 8-10 in the ACC. Miami has one of the best offenses in the country. 91 points per game, nearly, with 7 players averaging in double digits. MAC Player of the Year. Peter Suter, 14.5 points per game. Think about that. That's how balanced this team is. So Miami here playing just 1 hour from their campus. That has to provide, I would think, a significant home court advantage. As fine as program as SMU is, and they do have some rich boosters, I don't know how many people are going to make their trek to Dayton here compared to the number of folks that can easily make the trip here. And Miami of Ohio obviously has a tremendous following right now, given their situation. I was certainly down on Miami of
Major
Ohio.
line move.
After their, again, it was more like just seeing the way they acted after they beat Ohio University, and that turned me off. Doesn't mean they're still not a good team, just more rooting against them. I don't think that makes me think of them any less. They have failed to cover in 4 straight games, while SMU did cover, like I said, in their loss to Louisville here. But it does seem to me like I was kind of ready to go against Miami of Ohio, saying, overrated jerks. But now that SMU's come like a 7-point favorite, you know what? Watch out, especially with BJ Edwards. If he misses this game, I mean, that to me, that changes a lot. Miami's just 1-4. Like I said, Miami has lost 4 straight against the spread coming in. SMU, they did win those 2, but they had failed their previous 4 games before that. SMU's actually lost 5 of their last 6 overall coming into the NCAA tournament. So what's up with that? Miami of Ohio's gone under in 8 of their last 11, but SMU's gone over in 9 of their last 13 games. These two teams are a combined 38 and 24 to the over here. Pretty big number there for sure, but it would seem to me like it could be a game where both teams could get well into the 80s here. So let's see how you have it in this one with SMU and Miami of Ohio here in a very intriguing matchup. Here we go. I think I'm seeing a lot of other games in there. Hello to For Real Kev joining us tonight. Andrew's on SMU. Timmy says Miami of Ohio with those points. Cannot pass on that. All right. Andrew says it'll be Michigan and Houston in the NCAA tournament finals. I did my ESPN bracket, Mr. Weskers. Are we going to have a contest here? Let me see if I can peek at my. Maybe I should bring my ESPN bracket up here, real quick. Can I do that? Let's see here. Let's see. It's going to be Duke. Hey, want to say hello to Soundman BK. Nice to see him in there. I think he likes the Nets there. He might be behind us in the video, I think. But when he gets to this point, if he watches the whole show, I'd like to say hello to Soundman BK. Okay, Andrew says, couldn't believe Duke blew that lead with the Cooper flag. Remember in that awkward, he had trouble there in the corner, remember? Miami of Ohio's free money, sprinkle the money line, says Timmy Two Shoes. And Mr. Wesker says, all these coaches are whining, and Danny Hurley is out there looking like a guy who never yells. SMU to go over, I think, easy here, says Timmy Two Shoes. Yeah. Cal Dog on the over. And no doubt with Hurley, but I've got to fade Hurley in the end. Timmy Chushu says this is the Cinderella the touts want. Would that be Miami of Ohio? Tim has Duke to win it all. And let's see here. So let me make my pick here right now and win this game between SMU and Miami. And I'll take the over here. I've got to go with a track meet game in this one. It would seem to me like two teams desperate to get that win, obviously. I'm going to take the over in this one. All right, let me see if I can't do my Can I bring it up here? Would that be offensive if I bring up my ESPN bracket here and see how I see it here? And again, I think this was before tonight, so I don't think it's going to change the uh, thing here with the play-in games. But here we go with my ESPN bracket here. Uh, just I'll point out. So I mean, this is the ESPN bracket, so I'm not going to go all chalk. I'm going to try to pick some spots here. If you're going to win the ESPN bracket, you better mix it up a little bit in there. So I don't know if I can stick to all these. One thing you should be doing, my advice for any bracket players, the smaller your bracket field, the more favorites you should take. I know that might be obvious to some, it might not to others. But don't take, if you're just doing an office pool and you've got 20 people in it, you stay chalk. Let the other people make the mistake. They're not going to do the same thing as you. If they pick that one lucky one and get on a roll, they'll beat you anyways. So just stick to the chalk when it comes to playing the brackets. I mean, even avoiding the famous 12-15s slot, because those are the ones that will be picked by the other folks too. And you should just really stick to the chalk. And one interesting thing to do, I'll show you here in just a moment on the ESPN bracket. But here we go with the top half here. So a few spots where I've got a few teams that I've kind of took a chance on right here, St. John's and Duke. I have St. John's kind of winning this whole group. I'm going to take them over Duke just because, hey, this is the one where I got to take a spot. Do I really think they're going to beat Duke? Probably not. But on the ESPN bracket, I'm looking to take a few chances in there. But here's what you do on some of these. Are very interesting. Now, again, you're not going to do, but let me find the 12-5 here with St. John's and Northern Iowa, for example. You click on the little preview here, and in there, it'll show you, scroll down to right here, and it'll show you the percentage of times that that particular seed has won against that other seed. So you see here, number 5 seeds have won 64% of the time, which is interesting, right? Because you'd think 5 and 12, it shows why this is the hottest one when it comes to, winning the brackets. It says right here, at least one number 12 seed has defeated a 5 seed in 34 of 40. So, okay, if you want to pick in your medium-sized bracket, go ahead and pick some 5-12s. I still think when you're dealing with 20 people, you could afford one, but you don't want to be wrong. This is where you want to take advantage of their mistake here. You're still going to have a 35.6% chance. Those guys are only going to have a 35.6% chance to win those games. So just interesting there. That's one thing. And it has lots of other interesting data, no doubt. But to me, out of all the stuff on here, this is the most critical one right here. And then even when you pick later on in the, say, so here I have Duke and St. John's in this group right here. And when you click the preview here, it says the same thing. Your bracket will be specific to whoever you've chosen. And so once you do choose, and I have a 5 versus a 1 here, and it says all number 1 seeds are 44 and 11 against number 5 seeds, 80% won and won all 3 meetings the past 2 years by double figures. So a real neat feature there where you can kind of look up how that spot does against those other teams. Let me point out here, so I'm picking some upsets in the ESPN bracket, and then if I'm in a tighter bracket, maybe I'll go with some favorites. But I have, for example, Arkansas to get past Arizona over here on this side, St. John's over Duke over here on this side. And like I said, these aren't steadfast on this bracket, so please don't hold to. But I would say that these teams that I'm at least putting through to a few rounds, like in Arkansas, like a St. John's, I'm riding with them a little bit here, and I'm going to be playing them in some of those. Like if St. John's is against Kansas here, the 5 versus the 4, I'll be on St. John's. And down here, I'm kind of rolling with UCLA a little. I took UCLA over UConn in my battle with my 2 favorite coaches there. And took UCLA to get in here. Again, I'm looking to win the ESPN bracket challenge. I mean, come on. even so, you're not going to have some super Cinderella. If you do, someone will get lucky, but I'm going to mix it up here. And on the other side, I've got some kind of secret teams here as well. Secret teams, underdog teams as well over here. St. Mary's and BCU, for example. I'm rolling with BCU here out of the 11-6. I'm taking them over Illinois, who can't win. I love VCU's coach, Martelli's son, in there. So, look, I have an 11-7 down here in ESPN bracket. St. Mary's beating VCU, right? Probably ain't going to happen. And I'm not putting, some 16 seed through or something like that. Look, St. Mary's, I mean, come on, this team's got a great experience with an incredible coach, St. Mary's, and, their rivalry with Gonzaga. Look, Gonzaga, kind of a perennial team that often makes it to the Sweet 16 or even deeper before they choke. St. Mary's has beat them this year, obviously, in the biggest games. And, the way they bring in all their foreign talent from Australia. And VCU, like I said, I like them too. So here also, Mr. Western, like I took St. Mary's over Florida, but I'm trying to win the ESPN bracket. Now over here, I did end up going with Michigan over Ohio State. And in the end, I had Arkansas beating St. John's. How about that? Coach Cal, maybe that's my angle, right? I want Patino and Coach Cal. Hey, I'm 58 years old, all right? I want Patino and Coach Cal in the final. So take your chances on the ESPN bracket, right? You can actually fill out 10 of them. I just did one because I don't have time for it. But there it is. And let's see if there are any other interesting ones that I picked out through here. Took Santa Clara over Kentucky on one side here. And Troy over Nebraska. I took Troy over Nebraska. Nebraska's never won a game in the NCAA tournament, by the way. I took St. Louis over Georgia with the big man in there. And so these are the ones you want to look out, okay? Look, even this one, funny, right? Purdue. I have Purdue running pretty deep, but I wouldn't be, you wouldn't be wrong if you wanted to really take a shot, just knock out Purdue in the first round with Queens. Probably wouldn't come close to happening, but again, you're just looking for different spots on this thing. Here's another interesting one. I still couldn't do it, but you know what? You have until the first game goes off. I kind of want to go with Cal Baptist over Kansas. Cal Baptist, I like Cal Baptist's super scorer over Kansas's super scorer. Seems like ever since that Peterson's been in there, the team plays worse with him in there. Maybe Cal Baptist is another one you want to throw in there. You got to get these 8-9s right. I'm teetering on taking Utah State instead of Villanova for sure over here, but I thought Utah State might actually be a little bit of the public 9, if you will. So, okay, hope you like that look at it. And again, we could make a group probably and get into it. We could create a group. Does anybody want to do that? I could do it right now here on screen. All right. We could just do it right here. Whoops. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Here we go. Man. Where's my background here on this, and why am I so big? There we go. Oh. Okay, there we go. All right. Hopefully you guys were typing in. Let me see the comments here right now, and I wasn't opening them there. No coach, Cal Dog loved Bob Knight, right? throwing the chair, kicked his own son in the NCAA tournament. Remember, kicked his son, grabbed the guy on campus. Remember, the guy said, "Hey, Knight," and coach grabbed him, and got that was at the end pretty much of Coach Knight. The guy just said, "Hey, Knight." It's kind of like if you went up to someone and said their last name, "Hey, Knight." He didn't like that, because he thought he should be Mr. Knight or Coach Knight. All right. Let's see. Oh, by the way, Soundman caught up with us here. Prairie View and Lehigh under. Hey, Soundman. Hey, BK. High Point over Wisconsin in there. And there's Greg's Final Four. And he's not a big. He says St. John's not going to be able to do anything here. And Hawaii, Andrew K going with Hawaii over Arkansas. So, Andrew, you guys are fading me a little bit in there for sure. Some good teams will lose. Greg says St. John's cannot beat Duke. And let's see. Mr. Wesker's not happy with the Gator. I still, you got to respect what they're doing and run them deep, but okay, let's see here. Fading Nebraska, they're a little bit, like never won an NCAA tournament game. Maybe Cal Baptist is an upset winner, right? You're looking to get it perfect. You gotta mix it up in the ESPN bracket there, I think. So even if I were to do it here with you guys, with a group here, not that we don't have a great group of people watching right now, we've got 36 watching, but if we send it out right now, it would be like, oh, maybe 20 of us getting in there. I'd probably because I want to beat you guys so bad. I'd probably go back in there and pick a little more chalk in that. And that one there is, basically for going up against the whole world. Okay. Cal Dog worked with Bob Knight's brother. And okay, let's go. That was just a look at that. Oh, I have one other game to look at here in college basketball. I picked one of the late games. Not going to go up against the NCAA tournament here, but let me go over one of the late games here. It's going to be I should create that group right now, and we should just call it like the Tony's Picks group, and then maybe Tony could do it on his show, and Rod could do it. And we could have a whole group of people in there, huh? Gosh. Okay. Let me see here. I've got one late game here right now with St. Joe's taking on Colorado State. In this one, I picked one game out, one of the two late games here to go over. In the NIT, we'll cover it here with St. Joe's, a 3 seed, Colorado State, an 8 seed here, I believe. Colorado State has lost 2 of their last 3 games coming into this one. They did beat Fresno in the conference tournament. Colorado State was my pick to win this tournament. They lost to San Diego State. So San Diego State didn't even make the tournament. They didn't even make it to the NIT. They said no thank you to the NIT. Yet, if you look at them, I don't know, the joke's kind of on San Diego State. I mean, you look at the NIT, there are 5 Mountain West teams in the NIT. They all went to the NIT except for San Diego State. They thought they were a little too above that. Actually, the women who got jobbed out of the NCAA tournament, they accepted their invitation to the women's NIT. For Colorado State here, they are 11-7 against the spread as a favorite. St. Joe's is 11-6 against the spread as an underdog coming in here. For St. Joe's, they lost to VCU in their tournament game after beating Davidson in their tournament opener, 70-58. They did cover 2.5 in that one. St. Joe's is a pretty hardcore under team this season, 11-20 to the under and 5-12 to the under as an underdog here. For Colorado State, they were 10-8 to the over as a favorite. This total has actually moved up from 142.5 to 144.5, and I'm not sure that that's actually the right move necessarily here, and I'm going to go under here in this one with St. Joe's and Colorado State. I'm going under as my pick here in the NIT. Okay, let's see here. Cal Dogs on Colorado State. I think that's it for the colleges there. All right. And look, I have one more day to do it here, obviously. So Oh, no, we don't really, man. I kind of want to do the bracket with you guys here. I don't know how many of you would do it. So, okay, Timmy on Colorado State as well. Let's get to the NHL tonight. Wouldn't be hard. I mean, I wonder how fast I could do. I just don't want to keep up all of your time right now and doing this. I should have been more um, open or more open to doing it here. Okay, see if I can get this right. All right, here we go. I'm going to copy the link. I think we've got it very quickly here and see if I can post it. If I can post it in the chat here, that'll be cool, right? That'd be the only way we could do it. Let me see if the link comes out in the chat. I'm going to post it here and see if it comes up. All right. Sometimes, okay, you might have to copy and paste. Let me know if you guys can see this there and copy and paste that into your browser. I think I've allowed one entry per person there, and I'll send it to Tony. I'll send it to Rod, and then we'll see if we can't get a bunch of people to participate. I've called the group Tony's Picks, and like I said, you probably have to copy and paste this. If you need anything else, Timmy there, yeah, go ahead and copy and paste it and let me know if it works, and let's all get in there and have a little contest. Okay, how about that? And we'll see who wins. Okay, and I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna change. Yeah, good. Thanks, Cal Dog. I've got to be on. I'm lucky I can get this show even on the air. Okay, so great. Thanks, Cal Dog. That's a great way of probably be right in there on the comments. Probably even be clickable there. So we'll do it, and I'll leave this up there. Talk about for a few more seconds. Let's do a little group. I called it Tony's Picks, and let's see who wins it there, and we'll have a good time with that, and maybe one of you guys there. Okay. Okay, let's go to the NHL tonight. And we got a nice little. I picked 4 games of the 6 because, you know what? Probably could have did them all, but here we go. Let's get to it. Started off here with Penguins on the road here, taking on the Hurricanes. And this one, you got Pittsburgh. I'm going to be an underdog here against Carolina last night. How about that last night with the game between Carolina and Columbus there last night? Man, the one thing I was going to note on that game there, let me call it up. I want to look at the details again here. Columbus 5-1 there last night over Carolina. I think I had the over though as my pick here on Night Moves in the 5-1 game there. But man, Columbus just goes to show you how well they're playing. And here, Hurricanes though at home $1.70. Freddie Anderson looks like could be in there in this one, and pretty sizable favorite here for sure. Pittsburgh 34-18-15, Carolina 42-19-5. Coming into this one here. So look, Carolina, I think riding in pretty good position here at this point, currently sitting atop the standings in the Eastern Conference here with 90 points. They're well clear of second place Pittsburgh right now, but Pittsburgh's won 2 in a row, beating Utah and Colorado. Pretty good wins right there. And Pittsburgh, one of the best road teams around, 18-9. Now Carolina's been terrific. We know that, but Pittsburgh does have a victory over them, 5-1 already this season at Pittsburgh. And at Carolina, the game was 5-4. Carolina won it back on March the 10th, and that was in a shootout. So if anything, Pittsburgh's kind of outplayed them here a little bit this season. But still, Carolina at home, pretty impressive, 24-9-2. But again, Pittsburgh, one of the best road teams in the league here. Carolina is 23-12 to the over at home. Pittsburgh's 21-17 to the over as an underdog. The line here really has kind of moved in Pittsburgh's favor. In fact, I'm showing it right now as maybe $1.65 at the most. I'm going to call it $1.60 just because some of the sharp books have even moved as low as $1.50 right now, or $1.49 actually at circa here right now. So I'd say there's been a move to Pittsburgh, and again, they're in second place behind Carolina. This isn't just so awesome that Carolina here is such a dominant factor right now. Maybe the price was a little bit too high. Now may have lost some value here, but Pittsburgh. I mean, for Carolina here, they come in off of that loss to Columbus. Before that, they did beat Tampa. Let's see how you have it. Maybe you can look at the puck line. I mean, if you do, Pittsburgh is one of the best puck line underdogs in the league this year. You're going to have to lay $2 to get that goal and a half, but they're 30-8. As a puck line favorite. I mean, that is pretty wild. I mean, like I said, you usually want your puck line underdog to be, 66%. Well, Pittsburgh is closer to 75% as a puck line dog. So it's probably the right play is to take it. It's just that Pittsburgh as a like I said, it's close to, I think, $2. I'm looking in the background right now, $1.80. Not bad. That's 20 cents less than where I thought it would be. Let's go to the chat here, though, in this one. Timmy says Freddie Anderson's in. Give me Pittsburgh. Oh, that's a terrible thing to say. It was not necessarily right vintage Freddie Anderson this year, but you're still going to trust him. The combination of, yes, Bussy is the man here probably right now, the way things are going, but I do think I think Bussy played last night, right? So let me take a peek at it here. Yeah, Bussy played in there last night and allowed 5 goals actually, right, in that game. So you got to think it's going to be Freddie Anderson here for sure. Cal Dogs on Pittsburgh. And let's see here. Greg says 4-3 Canes. And Timmy says that, Pittsburgh, they really did a good job and they had a good game in there. I can't put, I try to be respectful. I don't mind a little wry humor in the chat, but I try to keep them off the screen, Cal Dog says, take that 1.5. That's going to be still a good play. Like I said, I don't mind it either. I think the value here might actually be on a team like Pittsburgh in this one. I'll probably end up taking them here. It looks like we have enough support in there from you guys as well. Now, look, I don't know if it's going to be, some of the sites do say that it will be Silovs in here, but I'm not sure. But either way, like I said, Pittsburgh, you got to think. I mean, Pittsburgh's, they're going to be a factor in the postseason. You got to think, right? I mean, they could steal a series. Could they steal a series? They'll probably win a series. But after that, can they keep it going? So, okay, I'm taking the Penguins here in this one on Night Moves. Give me the Pens on the road against the Hurricanes. Kind of like their chances here in this one. I don't know, about $1.70 here between these two teams. The only difference between the two, they both have 18 losses. It's just that Pittsburgh has the 15 overtime losses. So actually have the same amount of losses, regulation losses overall. Oh, that's a great stat there, Cal Dog. Thank you. Good game. All right, next up, got the Senators taking on the Capitals here. Hey, I did skip the Devils and the Rangers here. I don't think that those guys are going to be able to get it going. Hats off to the Rangers on their 4-game winning streak. Okay, they'll get their chance. But let's go this one here. Senators taking on the Capitals here. Ottawa's been looking pretty good here of late. They just won a couple in a row, and did have a loss in there to Montreal, but we're on a little winning streak before that. Ottawa, pretty good numbers here right now, especially of late. They're also 18-12 on the road. Slight favorite here, looks like $1.15. They are a decent favorite here. In fact, oh boy, it's up to $1. This is one where the Senators appear to be taking the action here. I'm going to have to at least call them $1.20, if not $1.25 right now. The move might be on Ottawa here right now. Washington still very, very solid at home, 20-11, but just 8-15 as an underdog here. If you trust this Senator favorite role actually in this game, maybe that could be one direction that you would look. But let's see here. For Ottawa, they are 21-13 to the over on the road, but Washington's 14-21 to the under at home. These two teams met on New Year's Day. It was 4-3. Ottawa got the win at home in regulation. Meanwhile, they also had an earlier meeting that Ottawa had won in a blowout. So let's see what you think, though, here with Ottawa taking on the Caps. Ottawa's won 5 of their last 6, 4 of their last 5 on the road. Ottawa's also won 8 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams. Washington just 2-5 straight up in their last 7 games. Washington's gone under in 5 of their last 6 and 6 of their last 7 at home. Ottawa's actually gone under in 4 of their last 6, despite being a bit of an over team here right now. And for the Senators, they are 3 points out right now of the wild card spot that are tied. Boston and Detroit both with 80 points. Ottawa has 77 points coming in. Washington has a little more work to do right now. It does feel like they're going to be on the outside looking in. They're about to lose contact here with the group. You'd have to pretty much get pretty hot here from this point. Not saying that they couldn't here. This is a winnable game for them, even if they are trailing them in the standings. Like I said, at least Washington, one thing they do is play well at home. One of the better home teams actually in the league at 20-11 right now. So I think that does make it a little bit more of at least a chance here. And like I said, Ottawa's not necessarily a playoff-bound team. Let's go to the chat, though, and see what you have here in this one. And let's see here. Hey, I want to say hello to Adrian Kennedy in the chat. Wow, I like having Adrian here. He's got his Brewers logo in there. Halftime Bets is where it is here in Vegas. Great. Adrian, I'm here with you in the sports betting capital of the world. And Cal Dog is liking the Senators here in this one. Yeah, I kind of want to give them a chance, but again, that line is moving up here. I kind of want to give the Senators a chance here to win this game. I'll go ahead and agree. I'm going to go with Cal Dog. I'm going with the Senators, but I'm going with Cal Dog too. Timmy's on the under. Give me Ottawa. I'll take Ottawa here in this one. Oh man, we got a good one here, don't we? With Dallas and Colorado here. These two teams just met, obviously, back on March the 6th, and it was 5-4. Colorado won in Dallas in a shootout, in a thriller here, and big game here between two top teams. Currently, you have Colorado on 94 points, the best record in the league. The Dallas Stars on 94 points, 3 points behind Colorado. So you got the two teams with the two best records in all of hockey here. Colorado favored $1.50. At home here, total 6 over 20 in this one. Colorado 23-6 at home. How good has Dallas been? 20-7 on the road. So you see, you got Colorado easily one of the best home teams in the league, but Dallas. That's just how solid both these teams have been. Dallas comes in here on a 4-game winning streak right now. Dallas won, two of the last 3 matchups between the two teams. And for Colorado, they do come in here 28-35 to the under as a favorite. Dallas is kind of a mixed bag when it comes to the total right now. So I don't know with Colorado at home, although their last 2 we mentioned the 5-4 game. The previous meeting between the two was also 5-4, I believe. So good one here. 156/20 right now between these two. And let's see what you think in this matchup here. For Dallas, they've won 14 of their last 16. They've won 5 straight on the road. Colorado just 4-8 in their last 12 games at home, even though they're 8-4 straight up in their last 12. It seems like Colorado maybe actually been a little colder than Dallas of late here coming in, but they still have home ice here. Hopefully it'll be Ottinger and Blackwood in this one. But let me see what you think with this game. I mean, is it Dallas here at plus $1.30 good enough for you here, or you feel comfortable laying the $1.50 here with this Colorado team that rarely loses at home? And again, it'd be nice to have home ice advantage all the way through the postseason. Dallas trails them. Let's go to the chat with the big game of the week. Can Blackwood get it together here, says Timmy Two Shoe. Cal Dog says you got maybe Dallas on that payback for that 5-4 loss at home. Maybe they come in and get this one. Timmy Two Shoe on Dallas. Okay, there's John. Hey, there's Johnny Walker. Okay, under here, Timmy. He says it's going to be 3-2. Low score. He expects a 3-2 game in this one. And Timmy says McKenzie going to get lit up here. I'm going to go with the under in this one at 6 goals. Give me the under between Dallas and Colorado. Okay, and I've just looked at one more because I have skipped the Blues versus the Flames, gang. And just like the other game in the other conference, I don't think the Blues, they are 7 points out. I guess they're, alive here a little bit. But you know what? I'm trying to draw the line here and not, keep us here for too long. Let's go to the Flyers and the Ducks here in this one. The Ducks are $1.55 or so. The total 6.5. It might be shaded to the under a little bit in this one. Ducks at home. Look, man, the Ducks are the one we're talking about here. They lead the Pacific Division by 1 point right now over the Vegas Golden Knights. Philadelphia comes in here having won 2 of their last 3. They're not going right now. 6 points out here currently for the Flyers. As an underdog, they're just 18-28. Anaheim 13-8 as a favorite. Can you believe that? Anaheim has been only favored 21 times this season. Just shows how underrated they've kind of been here to get this 22-10 at home. Pretty good record there. These two teams are over teams, especially Anaheim. We know that 20-13 to the over at home, 15-6 to the over as a favorite. Meanwhile, Philadelphia 19-13 to the over on the road and 26-20 to the over as an underdog. So let's see what you have here in this one. They did meet back in January in their other meeting, and Philadelphia did win at home 5-2. They kind of own this series. Philadelphia's won 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams. Philly also 6-3 in their last 9 overall, but Anaheim's won 10 of 12 at home and 14 of 20 overall. Philly's gone under in 11 of their last 13 games, despite the fact that they're, like I said, they mostly have trended over for the most part. Anaheim's gone under in 6 of their last 9, even though they've been an over trend. So of late, I'd say both teams are trending under, actually, whereas season long, they've been mostly an over here. So I think it goes back to over City, actually, and I'm going to go over in this one. And like I said, I've got to tell it like it is, Howard Cosell style when it comes to, of late. We're definitely seeing some unders from these teams here. 3 straight unders here for Philadelphia, allowing just 5 goals total to Washington, Minnesota, and Columbus. Although Anaheim does have a couple of overs here of late, they still beat Montreal 4-3, lost to Toronto 6-4, but did lose to Ottawa 2-0, beat Winnipeg 4-1. I think I'm going to go over 6.5 here. It does worry me a little bit. I'd rather at least go with a 6 and a heavy juice there, even if it was over, minus $1.30 or $1.35. I'd probably prefer to do that, but I'm going to take the over in general here. And let's see what you've got in our final game of the night there. Flyers could win it. Here says Timmy. And Cal Dogs on the over. And I think that's it. I think it's a good card, too. I think Timmy's right. I like this card today. I feel good here. So join me over at Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off the premium pick packages, including mine here on Wednesday. Check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com with our best bets from all the cappers. And don't forget, let me get that back up there. I'm going to show it one more time and then I'll post it there. Maybe you guys will do it too, but okay, we're running a bracket contest, and you could copy and paste in the chat, but I'll do what Cal Dog said there, and I'll post it at the bottom, and we'll see who wins. Try to use your, handle here if you can, or your real name or something, so that we know. Or you just come in here, I guess, and say, "Hey, that's me. I'm winning the contest," and hopefully we get more than a few. We got a few dozen of you here right now, so you don't even have to be someone who has been joining us in the chat pros. If you want to be in the Tony's Picks Night Moves ESPN bracket contest to see who wins, go ahead and enter there with that URL link. It should take you to the ESPN contest page. I've called it Tony's Picks. So let's enter it. Let's see who wins, and I don't have anything. I'm going to give away this Sharpie pen. Whoever wins, maybe we can come up with some prize here, but more for bragging rights on our chat, right? You can talk all year if you win this contest. So what a great idea you guys had. Let's do it. Let's have our own little contest here with the Tony's Picks Night Move show, okay? Thanks a lot, everyone, for coming in tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with more night moves. Tomorrow, you know what tomorrow is. We're going to be previewing 16 games from college basketball tomorrow. Be ready. All right. We might kick out the NBA. We might kick out the NHL. We'll look. They better not put too many NHL games out there. Kicking it there. How many of you have already entered in the contest? Have anybody done it yet? All right. That's going to do it for the show. We'll see you tomorrow night here on Night Moves for the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves, and don't forget to enter. You got another day or so, but let's do it.